Welcome back, guys. So Huck, very eager to get into this next matchup.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about, Froden, because I think these players want to get underway. So let's just go ahead and get right into this. The map is going to be Tal to Reem. Of course, we've got Hart versus Huck.
Yeah, so here we go. Game number 5 here. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Looks like here in the bottom left, we have none other than Evil Genius's Chris Loranger. His name is Huck. And the top left, we also have another player here from Complexity. His name is Blue Terran. His name is Hart. He's up 3-1. Tell him if he wins this game, he punched his ticket to the loser bracket finals, guaranteeing him at least 3rd place.
And you know what? That's not a bad payday now. A big upgrade in terms of the prize pool. Of course, first place guaranteed $25,000. So I can guarantee you that both Hart and Huck want the championship and the money.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really important thing, just not only for the win, but also, again, just because Huck, for those of you who are watching or not necessarily familiar, Huck represents everyone outside of Korea right now who's playing, because he is the only non-Korean left in the entire tournament, and it's been that way since he beat Naniwa in, I believe, the top 8
You know what,
matches.
Froden, though, if I may, a lot of players and a lot of people make the comparison, too, that I've spoken with. It's like, Huck is a non-Korean. He's definitely a foreigner. He's the foreigner hope. But you know what? He really is used to the Korean regiment.
That's true. He trains in Korea.
And I think that just shines through so much, because, you know, I'm a big proponent of saying players, if they want to get better, need to make the pilgrimage to Korea to see, of course, the motherland of the metagame, as I like to call it. Get out there and, you know, expose yourself to that type of training regiment, and I almost can guarantee you you come back a better player. And Huck is a shining example of just how good you can get.
Yeah, and so Huck, obviously one of the most profitable and fruitful players to ever grace Korea and be able to benefit from their training practice. But, you know, Korea's not for everyone. You know, his teammate Idra says that he loves going to Korea to train, but he can't always stay there, and likes to go in there for spurts of time. So at the same time, there are people who try to go to Korea, don't exactly get the same results as Huck, but he's one of, you know, the role models that people look up to just because of how far he's come along. Of course, Huck showing decent gameplay in the previous game, but just got caught out of position. And of course, Hart with great, fantastic engagements. And overall, Huck, a couple of sports fields in the 2nd and 3rd time round was preventing his Zealots from getting able to get in. So Huck needs to focus a little bit more and get those timings a little bit more crisp, because it's half a second really difference, and it all of a sudden changed the outcome of the battle.
Yeah, most certainly. So, you know, I always love to put you on the spot. I don't ask anybody else except for you this, and I'm going to do it again, so get ready. I don't want any political answers here. You have to pick one. Who's going to win this series?
I'm going to go ahead and say that Hart won't mess up 3 times in a row.
I like that. Yeah, well, let's put it this way. I like your thinking statistically, because in terms of making that many mistakes, that is a lot. However, playing against Huck, Froden, Huck likes to force mistakes, so we'll have to see how it goes down. But that is definitely a safe and smart prediction.
Well, people probably obviously won't be happy about to listen to that, but I feel like it's not necessarily. I feel like Huck could win 1-2 games in a row, but Hart's been playing consistently. He's been playing rock solid. For those of you who don't know, he went 5-0 in his groups.
Yeah,
and he actually didn't even clean 2-0. It was,
and that was coming out of open bracket as well
too. Yeah,
I mean, that is just amazing. So, talk about playing on a high right now. You can tell Stalker going to go ahead and micro back. No hull damage as yet. They're just now taking some 67 hit points of 80. So just a scratch, if you will. A little scratch in the paint there, Froden.
Yeah, a little dent in the car, but of course I probably went to Kibbles, who does have a car dent.
Yeah, no problem.
So
fix it right up.
We have to fix it right up. So little secrets of the Dunn family. But Huck, he actually went for a 1-gate fast expand. Now, the most important thing, though, is that his Stalker actually saw no expanding. He saw an assortment of Marines, so he knows what his opponent's up to. He says he has a good number of Marines and Mirage, so hopefully he can get his Immortal out in time. No need for an Observer.
Well, that's the question is, does Huck have enough to even deal with this right now? I mean, he's got 1 Stalker, 2 Sentries, and a Zealot. We always talk about how great Huck's control is. Froden, he's going to need to have immaculate control right here as the army arrives. 2 SCVs as well, going to focus down that pylon first. More units now warping in, but here the Immortal finally joining, and that's going to help out so much against the Marauders. Good force fields going down here.
Very, very nice done by Huk so far. Needs to preserve again. Just use the Zealous to tank, use the Immortal and Stalker to add some damage from afar. Probably should consider pulling a little bit of probes as well, just because, again, he's on one base. Hart doesn't have that much of a good follow-up, but the Immortal and Stalker doing fantastic damage. Picking off the Marauder was huge, and looks like Huk has hold off the aggression for just a moment's notice, as looks like he's going to be able to push back for now.
Just amazing, Froden. I mean, at the very last second, I feel that Immortal had arrived on the scene, and it was like, Big Brother is here, I'm going to protect you guys. And, of course, does so very well against those Marauders. Yeah. Great job by Huk to hold there.
And, yeah, now Huk can actually quarter boost out another Immortal, because, again, he's technically not safe. He doesn't know if Hart went directly for Stim or he went for Combat Shields. In this case, Hart actually went for Combat Shields, so his Marines are going to be more durable, so it's not over yet. A lot of these can change. Will Huk decide to pull any probes this time, though? As last time he proved that he didn't need any, so I eat my words. But a second Mortal does change a lot of things, as well as a couple of good force fields. We'll see whether or not Huk chooses to use them at all. 2 force fields do go up, and the Zealots do trap them. And the Immortals doing some great damage on the Marauders that are completely sectioned off from the units. And Huk with some really good engagement.
Yeah, Huk actually deciding to get a little bit more aggressive there and follow that. Now it looks like he wants to move out a little on the map. See if there's any reinforcements coming in, splitting his units up as he realizes that these units are going to have to go around the other way. Now trapping Hart's units, and he's going to flank this way, and Hart's going to be in a little bit of trouble now. So here we go, going to engage. Huk going to make the most of this one, Froden, as he goes ahead and takes down the small contingent of forces out of Hart.
Textbook surround here. Of course, Sun Tzu's Art of War would have been absolutely proud of him, just because of the flank was beautiful there, as Huk managed to get a good amount of the units. Now, Hart is running out of options here. He's actually still not expanding. In fact, he just started Stim, so this is going to be a very, very tough situation for Hart unless he makes a big play, and I don't see that happening anytime soon, because Huk's forces is looking very, very intimidating. He's got a lot of Zealots to tank damage, and he's got some sentries to reinforce. No, Hart's rally points is also off as well, so Huk looks like he's getting in a good position here to engage. He's going for the counterattack, and Tumba looks like all the SCVs are coming.
The SCVs coming off. Proxy Pylon going down, of course, Froden, because he wants to reinforce from here. Has not actually sniped the probe, but the seat in the middle back, segmenting off with the force fields, and now heading over, trying to take out those SCVs as they are just trying to abandon ship, if you will, right now. So great engagements thus far for Huk. Did he get proxy pylons down? He did. He does have a proxy. Very scrappy match here so far. 75 supply of 84 for Huk, 52 of 67 for Hart, but Hart forced to pull SCVs.
Yeah, so you know what? I mean, Hart, at least Hart, I completely applaud the fact that Hart recognizes that it's an all-in. He's not trying to turn his heart away halfway. Because a lot of times Terrans just say, okay, you know, I'll try to drop a command center here, but they end up dying. Hart says, I'm sending my SCVs, I know what I'm doing. So Hart is making a strong decision, and I got to respect that.
I do too. You know what? You have to commit. Indecision is what's going to kill you in the end. So, but with the Colossus on the field, I don't know, Froden. Colossus mixed with that sentry count. They have energy and Immortals in the mix. Here we go. Good segmentation there of the army, and that Colossus just going to reign supreme here. GG.
Wow.
Out of Hart.
And the crowd is going wild absolutely in the background as Huk lands amazing control and able to really divert the attack and deflect any kind of aggression from Hart. Now it's well played, and you know what? I'm saying that Huk could win game here and game there, and that's the right step in the right direction if he wants to make the full comeback.
Well, I'll tell you what, Froden, you couldn't have said it better. And you know what it comes down to as well is the fact that right now it's a momentum booster for Huk. He's still in this thing. Yeah. He still feels like he has a chance, and that's all he really needs. Hart, on the other hand, has had an amazing run thus far, and I don't think he's done just yet. So yeah, more great StarCraft action coming up in just a few seconds here as we get these games set up for you. I'm Tumba.
And I'm Frodan.